We'll move to item 13, courtesy of the floor. For public comment, 5-minute time limit on any issue. Anyone like to address council? Mr. Fetting?
Robert Fetting, 2830 Linden Street. The September gross terminal revenue numbers are in from the state. So the city made about $26,000 over the slots portion of their budget for the year. However, because of the projected table games deficit, I'm still projecting a cumulative deficit over budget of about $200,000. Let's talk about the last meeting where you discussed the TIF rebate agreement. First, I thought council policy was to allow visiting governmental and authority officials to speak without a time limit. I was disappointed that council chose to muzzle, in a sense, the county council president and restrict him to 5 minutes. I thought other people have been granted, I believe governmental officials have been granted the privilege of talking for what length they wish to. Secondly, I made a point at the beginning of the meeting where I was discussing with the solicitor about the lack of availability of the resolution for the rebate agreement prior to the meeting. Pennsylvania Sunshine Act clearly encourages public participation, gives courtesy of the floor, but how could these folks out here give you any meaningful input if they hadn't seen the legislation you were about to vote on? Answer, they can't. So I think the spirit of the Sunshine Act is violated, and there's a Senate bill just got passed that may rectify that in Harrisburg. How was the rebate agreement you folks just passed last meeting? It's sort of like the healthcare bill down in Washington got passed. Did you folks really read it? Prior to the meeting, you were provided with version 5 of the document, blank schedules and all, the one that was adopted by county council. At the beginning of your committee of the whole, you were provided with version 6, the version you voted on. There were changes between version 5 and version 6. Did you review those changes and consider them not to be important? I didn't hear any objections or any comments. There are, the devil is in the details in these kind of things. I didn't hear anyone on council raise the issue of why the county millage rate was 10.8 mils. Any Northampton County Council resident would know that we were billed 10.4. Bond Council for Redevelopment Authority blew me off. School Board blew me off last night. You guys didn't even mention it. So finally I went to Vic Naziata today by email, and he wrote back and said, yeah, you're correct, that's a problem, I will work on it. So watch out for version 11 coming through. It'll benefit the city and the school district and hurt the county, but there was a clear error in using the 10.8 instead of 10.4, and I said Vic agrees with me on that one. How many of you questioned the fact when you looked at the bottom of Schedule 2 that the assessments, $5.6 million or something, didn't match the $5.5 million, the base amount? Nobody questioned the difference. Answers in version 9 and version 10 if you're getting that, or you're getting 9 right now. Read the answer if you like when you see it. Schedule 1 that you adopted indicates that the Bethlehem Redevelopment Authority is going to own a lot of the property. Anybody bother researching Resolution 4624 passed on January 13th of 53, which created the Redevelopment Authority, to see if in fact they have the authority to own this kind of property? If you look at the resolution, there's a comment in there. Said conditions are beyond remedy or controlled by regulatory process or cannot effectively be dealt with by private enterprise under existing law, and that such conditions in the blighted areas in the city are such cannot be corrected without the effective public power of eminent domain. That's what created them. Existing parking lots done by private, that doesn't even meet it. But I'm sure the legal team will work its way around that one. As Mr. DiGiussano mentioned, school district passed version 9 last night. Version 10 is coming because they amended it. There are changes. I will let the legal people decide if they are significant, but almost every page has a change on it. Probably the most significant is again Schedule 1, where the Bethlehem Landing project is now going to be owned by the city, which means you got some stuff to pass. I think it's I expect my city council to have oversight over things, and this one I don't think you're quite lived up to my expectations. I'm a little disappointed, and I hope next time that you don't rush madly ahead without understanding and knowing what you're voting about. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez?